Hello everyone, and welcome to You Make the Difference. I'm Wanda Walker, and today I have as my guest Teresa Thompson. And Teresa, her husband is at McKinney Memorial down in West Point. He's the pastor there. And Teresa is very active in her church and very active outside her church. She's just put on a conference called BAAD, B-A-A-D-D, and we're going to talk about that.
Okay, awesome.
Teresa, why did you feel a need to put on a conference called BAAD?
Well, the BAAD stands for Built Above All the Devil's Distractions. And when you think about that, you think about the fact that right now the devil, and in this area, in this moment in time, we're being very distracted by some of the things that's happening around us. And I thought about, well, what an opportunity could be if we could bring together some women who need encouragement, who may need the opportunity to know that, girl, you're really bad. You are built above all the devil's distractions. And when I first thought about this could really potentially be an event or a conference, I was saying to myself, how could we make this to the point of bringing speakers together and encouraging women, and would people really come? And God just blew my mind. He blew my socks off with the opportunity to do this. And when just personal experiences, my own self, I guess, and the women that I surround myself with at church and in the community, I could see that there was some defeat. And we needed to know that, hey, we are built above all the devil's distractions. We're not going to be defeated at all. And this event was the catalyst to be able to bring the ladies together and celebrate the fact and rejoice together that we are bad.
Yes, and when you put on a conference, you go all out. You had supper, you had T-shirts, you had decorations. I mean, it's just an all-out thing, isn't it?
It is. You know, and I say, and to hear you say that, it's just a God thing.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you can walk into a place that has not been made ready for you.
Yes.
But that event was made ready for any woman who stepped in. And from the parking lot, when they arrived, my people that were outside helping us park cars were telling the ladies, hey, girl, you're bad.
Yes.
They needed that instant reminder. And from the time they stepped in the door to the end of the conference, we made sure we wanted them to know that you're built above all the devil's distractions.
Yes.
Girl, you bad.
And you know, that's kind of some thinking, you know, to say I'm a bad girl, because we want to be good girls.
Right.
But to have that knowledge of built above all the devil's distractions, that's really important for us to know.
Right.
And that we have been placed already in a position of victory.
Absolutely. Bad is the new good.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
So who were the speakers that you had?
Anytime that I put on an event, let me just say this, I always make sure that I'm in tune with God, because He's going to send me the right people to speak and say the right things for the people who are coming, because I have no idea.
Yes.
But He knows who's coming. And the speakers were chosen from prayer and just being able to be in their presence and heard them. And I knew they had something to say. On Friday night, we had a young lady from Columbus, Georgia. Her name was Iwana Jones, and I think you were there Friday night, Miss Wanda, and you got to experience her. She was awesome. She just set the room on fire. She's from One Way Deliverance Ministries. Her and her husband, Robert, have a ministry in Columbus, and they're doing great things in Columbus. But I knew she could be that dynamite we needed that Friday night.
Yes.
And Iwana Jones delivered. She delivered a powerful message about the bricks and being brick houses and being bad women and the bricks that were thrown to us. So she did an awesome job Friday night. As Ms. Wanda said, we had a meal prepared downstairs, and we brought in Miss Anita Hatton.
Yes.
Most of you know her from LaGrange, a spoken word artist, and we wanted to add something different to just it being a regular, normal worship service. We wanted to add a little different. So she came and she did a spoken word piece in our session called Chick Chat.
Yes.
And I think, and I've heard comments from people that was awesome. It was a very intimate time for the ladies who were there. And I noticed my speaker didn't even leave till almost 1 o'clock that morning.
Yes.
She even stayed behind to be a part of Chick Chat. And what we did was just share testimonies. We put out 3 chairs and did your past, your present, and your future. And it was an awesome, awesome time. So that was Friday night. Saturday morning.
Wait, I want to say something about that.
Okay.
All right. Yes, the Chit Chat was after Anitha did her talk.
Mm-hmm.
Had you already planned to have other people give their testimonies, or did that just flow into that?
That was organic and just flowed into it. I had no idea really how the program or what I wanted to do there. Those testimonies came from the heart. They were spontaneous. I just asked, and those ladies shared their stories.
And it was so surprising what ladies have gone through and survived and are still, I mean, they're just powerful now. The enemy did mean those things for their destruction, but God has taken those things and built those ladies to be above the enemy's distractions.
Right.
You know, sometimes we can be in the company of people and not know what they have been through.
Absolutely.
But, you know, to hear things where people have been beaten or people have even tried to commit suicide and those kinds of things, but see that they're in a position of joy and victory now is just really encouraging. And I'm sure it's encouraging for people who may be in one of those spots to see how God can bring you through.
Right. Those were powerful testimonies of, I tried to end my life, but I couldn't.
Yes.
You know, it was so amazing. And even for the ladies who were there who had been in worship with the ladies, they had no idea that, I mean, one lady had taken 100 seizure pills.
Yes.
And she's still here.
Wow.
I mean, it's so amazing. God is just, you just hate to say good, the cliche of good, but he was. He allowed them to be victorious, even in their own, trying to kill their own selves in their own death. They were trying to and couldn't even do that. And our speaker Saturday morning, her message was, "It's not your time to die."
Yes.
Her name was Minister Kayla Spinks. She's from Auburn and St. Andrews in Auburn at a ministry at a church there. And her message was so profound to that intimate audience we had Saturday morning, because, of course, it was 9 a.m., it was early, but the people who had to be there had to hear that message.
Yes.
And there was a lady that she actually was speaking for God to her and pulled her out of the pew and told her it's not her time to die. And the lady was actually thinking about committing suicide.
Wow.
It was such a powerful, such a powerful service Saturday morning. I couldn't believe, if you just had to be there. I couldn't even believe what was happening, and the testimony that came out of that message that she delivered. She talked about the gentleman who was in the body bag who wasn't dead.
Wow.
And she said, "That's you. You're in a body bag right now, but it's not your time to die."
That's right.
It's not your time.
That's right. God Jesus came to give us life and life more abundantly.
Right.
It is not our time to die.
Right.
It's our time to live.
Absolutely. And when you're a bad girl, you're built above all the devil's distractions. You know that even if you were thinking that the situations that you were in were weighing you down, and I just can't make it, I just can't do it, remember that you're bad. You're built above all the devil's distractions, and that was one thing that we really wanted to do with the conference. And I had no idea that this lady was contemplating of doing something of that nature, but the Holy Spirit knew and had led this speaker directly to her that Saturday morning. It was such a powerful experience. Following worship, we did do some workshops, because it's always good to edify the body.
Yes.
It's always good to think kingdom-minded, kingdom principles. And we had a doctor, Dr. Bonita Stevens. She's originally from LaGrange. Her office and her practice is in Newnan, Georgia. And she talked about being a healthy bad girl. What good is it to be able for you to defeat the devil, but your body is in ruins and it's defeated? And she talked about eating habits and healthy ways to cook and prepare food. You know, just some things that we know sometimes we don't want to do. The exercise component, she talked about that and how important that was. She was very, very good. We had an audience that enjoyed another meal.
Yes.
And heard her speak, and she gave us good information and advice on how to be a healthy bad girl. Following her, we had an author who found us. We have no idea. We don't know her. She didn't know us. Her name was Terry Nugent from Atlanta, Georgia. She found our event, registered, as a vendor and came. And since she did that, I allowed her to have a little bit of the program and talk to the people there about her book. She's an author, a Christian author, and I can't remember the name of her book, but she did a great presentation on just hearing from God, and whatever He's telling you to do, just do it.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, just do it. And she was wonderful. And our last component of our workshops was from evangelist Erica Brooks from Columbus, Georgia. She has a business called More Than Conquerors Financial Services, and she helps you understand kingdom principles when it comes to that thing called money. A lot of times we miss the mark, and she brought it home. She gave us scriptures. She tied it all in for us. She told us about the ability to have wealth and how God wants us to have wealth, but we've got to be first good stewards of what He's given us. And what is a dime? What is 10% of what He's given you of every dime? I mean, what is that? And she broke that down for us and did an excellent presentation. Had everybody sitting on the edge of the chairs taking notes. Her business that she has is out of Columbus, and she has helped people who have been almost 2 years behind in their mortgage save their houses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Her services is More Than Conquerors. And we're wanting to bring her back to do more financial education. She's worked with TSIS. She's a broker, a mortgage broker. She's done a lot of things and has a lot of knowledge that can help you. But she did help a lady who had been almost 2 years behind in her mortgage save her house. So that was great. I think that was just the education piece. I didn't know how it was going to go. But this being our first time, but it went great. It really did. Yeah. And we closed out Saturday. We didn't want to, but we closed out Saturday with Pastor Teresa Reese from New Life Ministries in Valley, Alabama. And she just brought it home. She had her dance team, and her dance team was so anointed and ministered during that service. It was phenomenal. It was really phenomenal.
Now, was that dance team an adult dance team? Because you had a child's dance team on Friday night.
It was teens. It was teen girls.
Oh,
and it was 2 different dance teams that Saturday. And I failed to mention our psalmist on Friday night, Shavidra Sullivan. She's locally from LaGrange, Georgia, a powerful, anointed woman of God. And her testimony during Chit Chat was something that I didn't even know.
Yes.
And we've been worshiping together for 7-8 years, and I didn't even know that part of her testimony. So like you said, you can be with people and not really know about their testimony. But Shavidra was wonderful. She's our minister of music at Keeney Memorial in West Point. And when I asked her about it, she said, of course, I'll be there. Her husband's birthday weekend, and she came and she ministered during our worship service. And then Saturday morning, my son, Jamal, who is so gifted, God has gifted him to be able to sing and play without any kind of teaching.
Yes.
He just plays and sings, plays the piano for a church, and he sings. And he came and he brought some friends, and they did worship for us Saturday morning. Awesome. He was great. It was his first time. He's like, Mom, I don't know if I can do it, but he did a wonderful job. And I just bless God for the opportunity to get him to be able to be a part of the conference. And then
the Fannons.
The Fannin family, yes, part of their family was there with us at every worship service, which was awesome. They are an anointed family.
They are.
Oh my goodness, they are an anointed family, and I just thank God that I was able to connect with them and be able to be a part of the event. And then Saturday afternoon at our 2:00 service, Minister of Music Eddie Robinson from Hogansville, Georgia, he came and just took the service to a whole nother level with the worship. He had a group that came with him from Hogansville and Noonan, and they were so powerful and anointed. It just added the right elements to close out the worship. It was wonderful.
So you had a really great event.
Really great event.
Now,
probably about 250 people.
Wow.
For the entire weekend. We did have registration forms because we want to stay connected. We're going to do it again. So we want to stay connected with people. So we have about 250 different individuals who were there the entire weekend.
And one of the things that I noticed was you gave people an opportunity, women who were in business, to demonstrate or to lay out their wares for other people to see and to purchase, and that was so good. And I want to say you also have started a business, right? What's the name of your business?
Creative Kingdom Solutions.
Yes, and the event was done under that business.
Right, this was our first event together. Me and a business partner, LaToya Thomas, my right hand, bless God for her. She was one of the ladies that gave her testimony during Chick Chat. She and I have the same love and passion for event planning. And we decided we needed to do something with what we have, the gifts that God has given us. So we started our business, Creative Kingdom Solutions, about 6 months ago. And we do all kind of events, event management, but we are focused on the Christian event. I think sometimes people, the parties are great, birthday parties, anniversaries, bar mitzvahs, all of that is wonderful. But sometimes you need somebody to focus on that Christian event where you can bring in people and they can get what they need.
Yes.
And so that's one of our taglines is we're your partner in purpose.
And you have so much in you, Teresa, that, you know, it's a big job to be the pastor's wife, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah. But you have so much more in you than that.
Right.
That's really the reason you started the business, right?
Right, exactly. I needed an outlet for all that God has blessed me to be able to do. And I needed to be able to give it back to him. I didn't want to go and show up before him and he said, hey, I gave you this, but you did this. And I needed a way to be able to do that in a way where there were no hindrances, that I could really flow with him.
Yes.
Because this event, to be honest with you, when you're doing something and God has called you to it, sometimes your faith and fear come together and you're afraid. You're like, is anybody going to come? And the people that come, will they receive what you're trying to put together? And my trust wasn't at 100%. And it was one Sunday, I'll share this testimony with you. It was one Sunday morning, me and my business partner, we were actually about to come together and meet about the event. And in my mind, I was just going to say, you know what, we just may not need to do this. This is way out of, you know, my pocket. I can't see how I'm going to be able to take care of all the things that we need to do monetary wise. And she was saying the same thing. She said she drove me into church and on her mind was to say, hey, it's just me and you.
Yes.
We can't do this. You know, maybe we need to, you know, think about not doing it. And that Sunday morning, I guess God, he's omnipotent. He knows everything. He knew our fears. And we both were about to mention that when there was a check that was handed to us that said, I believe in you.
Yes.
And once we opened the envelope, it was a check for $1,000.
Wow. Wow.
It was $1,000.
Do you want to say where it came from? No.
She doesn't want me to say where it came from. But it was $1,000.
Yeah. Seed. Who else came around you to support you after that?
Wow. I had a team of ladies that have been with me and seen me do different kind of things at the church. And they just said, hey, how can I get involved? How can I help? They're all wonderful, wonderful ladies. And I had a team of 8 of them who came. And I just want to give a big shout out to them and just say thank you for their hard work and their group me messages and text messages and up all night crying because we're nervous about what's going to happen with the event. They were really my support structure, my backbone to be able to bring this event into fruition. And I just thank them so much from the bottom of my heart. LaToya and I thank them so much for being there. They were I call them the I don't know team. Wherever I needed them to be, they were there. They were taking care of everything. And all I had to do was just be able to be a great host for the event because they were there.
And also, Teresa, I know you have a lot of children.
We do. My husband and I share the parenting of 7 beautiful blessings.
Yes.
Woo! Yes, 7 beautiful blessings. And for me, I was in corporate for I was at a job for about 15 years and had to walk away because once we got married, that's a lot of blessings.
Yes, it is.
To have to manage and take care of, and I had to walk away from a great corporate job and believe God for that. And that's just to say that anybody who is hearing from God to do something, just do it because he's going to be there and take care of you. There were times when we didn't know how and what, and he would come in like a flood. People didn't even know. They would just come in. He would send in whatever we needed at that moment, at that time when I wasn't working at that moment. And but yeah, we do have 7 children. 6 of them are in college right now.
Wow.
Yeah, they're all higher education.
Wow.
Wow, yes. And so we do have a daughter who's doing dual enrollment. So she's here at West Georgia Tech and at LaGrange High getting ready to graduate. And we have a son who's a sophomore So that's
Yes.
the last one out of the.
So you're raising 7 children. You have a business. You're the pastor's wife. But I know that there is still so much more in you. So tell me some of the things that you have on your heart that you want to accomplish for the Lord. The first time I met you, I just want to say this. The first time I met you, you had organized an event where there was a walk on Union Street
Right.
that went up to the rec center.
Right.
And then there was a fashion show and all of those things that were put together. And I was amazed when I went to that event and saw how many people came and what went on. I said, who is this woman? Yes. And then the next time that I think I really sat down to talk to you was at the back to school bash.
Right.
And
Yeah, she was.
you and Denise Mosley
Yes.
had worked with Ricky Bolton from New Community to put that together.
Right.
And I sat down and talked to y'all, and it was just so amazing to how many things that you had in your heart to do.
Right.
And then Denise has just opened up
Girl
Talk.
Power.
Yeah, Girl Power.
Girl Power and Emerging Women is another part of my heart. I don't know how many pieces I have, but it's
have a
another part of
lot.
my heart. And Minister Denise Mosley, that is her baby, her vision, and we are helping drive her car behind her, giving her all the encouragement that she needs with the girls. We saw, God saw there was a need and knew that our heart and our ears would be tuned to Him to be able to make this happen. And she has done a phenomenal, a year.
Yes.
We're about to celebrate a year of being together as Girl Power, and you wouldn't believe some of the things that God has accomplished through Minister Mosley and her daughter Ayana for Girl Power. It is amazing, and there's so much more to come with this. It's amazing that He's opening doors, and people are knocking on the door now, and people know who we are and what we're doing. It's amazing.
Yes.
I'm excited for everything that Girl Power is about to do.
Yeah, and it's partnered with 16 Ways.
16 Ways, which is another community organization here with Wesley Woodyard, and 16 Ways is coming in to do an event, and Girl Power is coming together with them in June. So look out for that information. That's coming, but it's so much more. There's a summer camp that Girl Power is doing that's coming this summer that we're going to launch for the very first time and see how it goes with the girls. But our goal is to encourage and inspire and empower young ladies. You can do it, whatever it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so tell me some of the other projects that you have.
Wow, on the horizon. Who knows what God is going to let me do, but I have so many creative, that's where the name comes from, creative kingdom solutions, I think, for some of the problems that are ailing us. One of the things that I want to do is start a mentoring group for young men. At our church, sometimes you can determine your mission field, and we have sort of determined that our mission field is young people. They are consistently at the altar.
Yes.
Sundays after Sunday after Sunday, wanting to be better. And I have more young men than I do young ladies, which is rare. I do have a good group of young ladies, but I have more young men. And consistently at our team talk that we have, which is real talk, real issues for real God, on Monday nights, we have more guys that show up. And I can see that they are really wanting to know who this God is.
Yes.
And they need a way that somebody can minister to them and talk to them. So we're working on putting together Kingdom Game Changers, and they're going to change the game. The young men are going to learn about how to tie a tie, and we're bringing in mentors that are going to be able to, talk to them. Because I had one young man say to me, you know what, I love you, but I can't talk to you about some of the man stuff that's going on in my life. I said, okay, I got somebody I'm going to find for you to be able to do that. And for me, it's just creating the space for that, creating the space for the mentors to come and meet the young men, to create a space for the young men to feel comfortable to talk to the men that are coming. So that's something that we're going to try to do this summer, kick it off with a basketball tournament, old school versus new school, and get that incorporated into a ministry. That's something that we want to do. As far as the business is concerned, we're going to put together what I call an event called Got Kingdom. You know how
Yes. Got milk.
remember the commercial Got Milk with the white mustache? Well, when you think about it as a church, do you have kingdom? And when I say that, when you think about milk, milk has the nutrients for your body. It helps your body build strong and healthy muscles, bones. Think about that for a church. A church needs the same kind of nutrients.
Yes.
They need to know about evangelism and missions and being able to be good stewards over finances and things of that nature. So God Kingdom is on the line of God Milk. We're going to do workshops that are nutrients
Yes.
for your church.
That's wonderful.
So that's one event that's coming along with BAD number 2. We're going to do that in Noonan, Georgia, at a church, Smith Chapel in Noonan. We're going to do BAD 2. So there are a lot of events that are going to be happening along with that financial piece. Because I heard God in that session, there were people asking questions.
Yes.
And there are people who need the knowledge. We've got to edify the body when it comes to that. And Creative Kingdom Solutions is what we want to use to do that. BAD was the first arm, the first leg of that. It was so successful. People were hearing about it. They were coming up to me in the street saying, oh my God, BAD. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was awesome. It really was.
Now your church is located in West Point.
It is.
And it's McKinney?
It's Keeney Memorial.
Keeney. I always want to say McKinney. But Keeney Memorial
Methodist Church.
Yes.
In West
and it's
Point,
located
Georgia.
on
703 Avenue K in West Point, Georgia. Every Sunday, 10 o'clock Sunday school, 11 o'clock worship. We invite anybody to come out and be with us. We have a wonderful time.
Yes.
God, we have a wonderful time.
Yes.
Wonderful time.
And I just want to share some information about an event that I'm involved in.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, and it's the Nancy Hart's event. And the Nancy Harts were 46 women who were from LaGrange. And during the Civil War, when the men went off to war, they decided that they needed to come together and learn how to shoot guns and do some practice. So if a Union troop came by and wanted to cause some trouble, or a Confederate soldier wanted to come by and cause some trouble, they'd be prepared to defend themselves. So these women became marksmen. I mean, they were really good, and they have been recognized in history as a military unit.
Wow.
They did have a time where they met the Union troops. The Union troops came to LaGrange, and these ladies stood in the street with their guns drawn.
Wow.
Right there at LaGrange College to defend the city. And so 2015 will be the 150th anniversary for that event, and we want to build some momentum. So we're going to have a Nancy Hart reenactment at Bellevue on April the 13th, which is a Sunday, from 2 to 4, and we hope you can join us. And I'd just like to say thank you for watching You Make the Difference, because you truly do. And thank you, Teresa.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Got a promise from heaven. It's a year of replevin. Got a promise from heaven. It's all coming.